Hello, my friends. It's me, Cynthia, and Azalea is off screen.
Hello.
And we are Green Girl Studios, and this is our Wednesday edition Magic Hour. I hope everybody is having a good week. We are prepping to have a Friendsgiving tomorrow, which is pretty fun. Greg is making a turkey, and he's got a duck in the oven. I make a stuffing with duck. It's really good. And cherries. Use cherries, and what else do I put in it? What else? I put figs in there. I chop up figs, dried figs. Sounds weird, but that little bit of sweet goes a long way. Hello, friends. Hello, Karen. Hello, Helen. Hello, other Karen and Tina. Hello, my friends. Hello, June. Allison. Hello, my friend. Good magical hour. Yes. So today I said, when there's a lot of people, what's fun to do that we haven't done in a while that's giving you the feeling of like kind of nostalgic. So we've been watching a lot of Doctor Who, recreating the times of her youth. And we used to sit around the kitchen table and make Shrinky Dinks. So I was like, you know what? She'd get her friends. They get, anytime the kids' table it'd be like a little factory of stuff happening. And so she still makes them now. She was making them the other day for her plushes, so that it has a little tag on the back. And they're good because it's lightweight. They're permanent for the most part. I don't think we've ever tried washing them, but I have some in my drawer that have been floating around since you were like 5. She's been making these for forever since. And also, what was it? The youngest artist in Bead and Button magazine history was Azalea Bell. They sent me an issue of that. It was pretty cool. Hello, Diane. She's in St. Louis making pie. Azalea is going to be making pie tonight. You're going to be making some pumpkin pie here shortly. Hello, Liz. Hello, Diane. Hello, Katney. Hello, Pat. Thank you for joining us, my friends. Okay. Oh, hello. Happy Thanksgiving. We're having Friendsgiving because I don't want to drive down to Florida. We drove down to Florida. When did we do that? It was like 2 or 3 years ago. And when we sat on I-95 for, what was it? It was like 2 hours. I was like, guess what?
We had like a 14-hour day that day.
Yeah, I was like, guess what? I'm never, ever doing ever again. And that's traveling on the holidays. I don't care what's happening. I better either be there or I'm going to be where I am because I'm not going to get on any highway or anything. That's the new, that's my rule for all time. Because after we sat and I stared at the same piece of highway for forever, no, not again. So I was like, okay, I guess we're having Friendsgiving here. And if I go anywhere for Christmas, it's going to either be way before or after. So there's none of that business on 95 again. All right. Let's flip this camera around. Let's do something. Let's do something fun here. All right. That's my phone that I need to find.
You did it. All on your own.
There we are.
No.
All that.
There you go.
That's a little bit better. Hole punching. This thing my friend
You turned down some of the lights?
I didn't turn them off. They're beaming into my soul. And I was just like, listen, I'm already hot. You got to cut them lights a little bit. You're going to kill your ma if it's that warm. I'm going to end up having a hot flash and turning into cheese. And no one needs that.
Cheese.
Marianne says, I need to check in on order. Well, if you placed an order, then we are in the middle of filling them. And if you've waited about anything less than 2 weeks, we're still filling them. We're still behind from them. We have to make everything. So if it's within how many days would you say? I don't know. It's hard to give exact times because we've just been making things around the clock. Since Helene, we had no power and water. And so when that happened, it was like 50-some days. It was like a nightmare.
Because people could still, like, they had orders waiting, and more people were placing orders to help us, but we couldn't fill them.
Still couldn't. You have to be able to make them.
We had no internet. I couldn't print shipping labels. I couldn't do anything. I didn't have printer ink, and we couldn't go to the store to the printer to get the printer ink because the roads were blocked.
It was just an all-around.
Every turn there was another obstacle preventing me from filling orders.
But now we're catching up. So if you're waiting on an order,
and it's
coming soon.
Just a reminder that we did have all of that, holding us back, and also it's just me filling them. I don't really have anybody assisting the filling of the orders, so I've got to catch up on my own a little bit. But thank you guys for being so patient. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's good. It's good you're doing it. And also remember that if you have combined orders, that's pretty technically. If it were me filling them, there would be no combining anything. I would not be able to keep my brain would not be able to keep all that in line. So this is a Sharpie, as you can see from that. It's a big Sharpie. And I'm going to make this, I had this vision in my mind. Hey, can you give me some alcohol? I'm going to be experimental. Oh, I have some alcohol. I'm going to make a pendant. You'll see. This is shrink plastic. It is the kind that's pre-doctored up. It's sanded on one side, so it has a kind of a little bit of a texture. It comes in opaque sheets. It comes in white, black, ivory, and what other? I think here's that. Let's see how this looks. Give it a little spray. That has a little bit of alcohol in it. See what happens. So you get a little bit of texture. Isn't that cool? Who knows if it'll bake in place? We'll see. I'll do that one. I'm going to decide after it dries what color. So in my mind, I'm thinking making a layered pendant so that these are kind of like lenses, or I don't know what I'm trying to say. Not a lens, but maybe a petal, or like stacked sea glass. That's the vision in my mind. We'll see if it turns out. We bought this at Michael's, I think. This is going to be a pretty good sized pendant. It shrinks a lot. So this will be like this when it's done, in theory. It should be. All right. I'm going to punch the holes after. Maybe I'll do this. It's like kind of like color theory. Because what we want to do, or what's in the goal, is to make these so that they lay on top of each other and have a little, like the light will hit it. I'm going to make another one that hangs this way. Be like, we'll see how it looks. I haven't done it like this. Usually when I have made anything with shrink plastic, I've been kind of meticulous with it. And I did patterns because it's the fun part in my mind is the miniaturization of your work. And so maybe the last layer I'll do some of that. Some like something that would be kind of difficult to get. Maybe like a veining on one of them or something. We'll see. Maybe I'll save this one for that purpose. See if this looks good. Yes, this is Shrinky Dink plastic. Sherry says, have you used Spectrum Noir pens yet? I don't know. That sounds familiar. We buy different pens. Oh, that's like gray. I wonder how that'll look. I don't know if I like that. Kind of. That's what you call a sheer hint of color right there.
Probably good for blending.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what this pink looks like. You can barely see it. I've done some alcohol ink. I see a comment. Cherie says you could use alcohol ink. Yeah, I have used them. You know, they wipe off. That's the only thing I like about it. Is I've noticed that when you would have to do that and then go over it with, did I just do that color? No, it's just very similar to the one I just used. It's like basically the same as this. See how this looks? Yeah. Do something. I wanted to do it in pink coloration. No, I don't want to mess with that. There's so many Sharpies in this bag. All right, we'll do this yellow. I think that'll be pretty. Colored pencils give the best results. I like colored pencils, but I feel like for this project, I want a very translucent layer. That is the goal here, is translucency. All right, so let's spray it and get a texture. Ooh, make my chai a little interesting.
Oh no.
I don't think it got in there. So you can kind of see a little bit of that texture happening to almost get rid of. Let's see if I get closer what happens. It's kind of cool. Huh. It needs more. You know what I could do? If I'm going to use alcohol inks, you know what would be good? Is I can layer it with UV resin after. I won't do that tonight. Because I am what you call wiped out. I don't know about y'all, but I was busy. I got into the kitchen. I was like, I'm going to clean the kitchen today. And I cleaned the kitchen. And then I was like, while I'm at it, I might as well go ahead and clean the back porch. So that's ADHD in action. Like cleaning compulsively. Hey, that's like clear. Why did that even... That green is lame. We'll put that one over there. Layer this with a little bit of this blue. Like, is this even... I'm like, where's a piece of paper? I want to see what this looks like on white. Okay, I didn't see white, but I have this card here. Let's see what this color is. Not even showing up, but maybe it will after the fact. Let's try a little bit of this on there. Hey, do you think those one inks that we got from, what was that place called? Jackson's Art Supply? Or no, St. Louis Art Supply. I bought these inks for Azalea. Do you remember those? And we tried them out. I wonder if they'd work on this.
I have these Optimist mixable color.
Oh, that's what I was talking about. You think those would be good? Because we could just...
I have this dark green, this cranberry.
That looks really pretty.
And I had another one. Oh yeah, here it is. This is a different kind. Okay, there's 3 options.
So we have these. This is some alcohol inks. Mixable color. Federal. That's the brand. Oh, there's a bunch of... I forgot I even had these. There's somewhere I had a bunch of them. Let's try it. Now, some of these have wiped off for me in the past. Oop. That came out a little heavier than I anticipated. Ooh, let's do this. Kind of fun. Really, I like to get it where it's like a more controlled drip, like with the brush. I think that's more fun than the spray bottle. But you do get some interesting effects before it dries. Oh, kind of neat. we'll let it just dry here. Actually, now let's put one of these in the, I have this little oven. Oh, before I do that, I need to poke the hole. I almost forgot. Where's the biggest hole on this? Hey, can you figure this out and put, where's the, oh, over here. I forgot. This is not the adjustable one. I'm sitting here looking at it going, how do I do this? This is a rivet setter on that. Man, I got to wipe my hands off. I can't stand the side of it. You have a wet nap over there?
No, I do not. Might have to rinse your fingers.
We had at one point like things of wet naps all over. Oh, why am I trying to do this one? It's still not dry. Silly. Okay, get me a paper towel, would you? I can't deal with this, all this extra. All right, I'm going to poke the hole. Usually pretty satisfying. Now, this hole punch is probably not going to make a big enough hole, so I'm going to go around it a couple times. This hole is what you call a little on the misshapen side, but you know what? It will work. Maybe. See, it's kind of, you know, it's not perfect, but when is this stuff ever perfect? I'm going to put this in my handy dandy New Wave. Here it is. I'm going to flip this over so you can see my, there it is. Okay. Power level, what do you think? 5?
7.
7? How
Whenever
long?
I used to do it, it was power level 7 for 15 minutes.
Oh, this doesn't need 15 minutes. Do you think it needs 15 minutes?
That's why I use the heat gun.
Okay. Let's see. Let's do 5 minutes. Oh, kind of.
I might be thinking about something else.
I think you're thinking of polymer
clay. Maybe that is it, because I like
It's not
being
supposed
able,
to do that, by the way. So we'll go back over here.
I like using the heat gun because then you're right there with it, and if it starts to curl up in a way you don't like, you can flatten it.
Yeah, shrink film, you know, Terry, I see that comment of making earrings. It is a lot of fun. It is. It's a lot of fun to make this. I have to make we have a duck in the oven where I usually make a stuffing where you pick all the duck meat and then you use the rest of it. You don't pick it really hard. And then you make a stock with it. And then from the stock, there's usually like the fat that goes to the top. That makes a very nice, like, cooking fat for vegetables. All right, I'm going to do another one. We'll see what happens with that. I'm going to make a long, skinny one. And I'll do a nice pattern on it. You know, I would not. Usually, I'm kind of like real precious with my stuff, with things like this. Oh, it's beginning to shrink. It's looking better than expected.
Oh, good.
But you know what? What are you doing saving it? You know, that's the thing is I'm waiting for the perfect time. You know what the perfect time is? Right now. Because, you know what? Some of that stuff's going to get dried up. Might as well use it when you think about it. Go get it. Dig it out. Mess with it. Otherwise, it's going to be like those fancy inks I bought at the Sanlier shop in Paris. I opened up the boxes like I bought it 20 years ago. I opened it up. Beautiful little tiny glass bottles. They're all dry. That is a misshapen hole. But you know what? It's okay. See how this looks. It's still doing its thing. Drying or melting. And you know what? If it comes out a little not flat, like if it comes out all curly, that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be for a pendant anyway. Might be smaller than I wanted. We'll see. So let's make this one. We have a pink and a green. What's another good color? What do you think, Azalea? Like a yellow or like a powdery blue for the next piece? We'll do like a blue on this side. I don't know. I don't know if I saw it. I feel like I did see a shrink film presentation. Was that oh, who did that? Someone will have to remind me. Let me check on this. Woo! It's blowing around. Azalea does like to use the heat tool. I have a heat tool in here, but I don't know if I want to go get it. That one you have to kind of pay attention to it, and sometimes I like to just leave it and just leave it without watching it like I'm doing now. I just kind of abandon this. And it's flopping around in the bottom of this. Got a minute left. I wonder if it'll do its thing. This one, I wonder if it's more opaque. I don't know if it is or not. There's a couple different kinds of this shrink film. Azalea used it last week, and they were supposed to be clear. And so when she used it, they were not clear. They were
white.
They were kind of like translucent.
I needed them to be clear because I did the line out on one side and the color on the other.
Maybe yellow in the middle. We might have to get your heat gun and straighten this thing out because it doesn't look that good. Here it is. Oh, that was Gail Crosman Moore. You know what? Gail is an expert with all this kind of business. Look how subtle that came out. Isn't that pretty? I actually like it like this. I might just leave it. I couldn't have planned for that. What do you think, little daughter? Look at that. Check that out.
That's kind of cool.
You know what? I might flatten it, but as it is right now, I think it's pretty cool.
It's like a fairy wing.
It is. It kind of has that little bit of a twist is really pretty. It kind of reminds me of one of those, the little lantern part of a paper lantern. Those plants. Chinese lantern plant. I don't know if that's the actual name for it. Let's see what this hot pink does on this corner here. Let's see. I like that color. It's kind of like, what do you call that? Padparadsha. That sapphire. Hit with this. Kind of interesting. Yeah, so I think this is a kind of a fun project to do with friends. You know, like you sitting around, like, what are we going to do? They can draw words, or, you know, you got a ton of Sharpies. Maybe have a heat gun going. Or you can put them in the oven. That's what we used to do. We just went right into the oven. But the only thing with the oven is sometimes they can get overdone. Do you remember that when they would be over?
That looks cool. What you got going on there?
Yeah, I like that pattern. Yeah, see that? Isn't that pretty? I think that'll be pretty. Oh, my friend Donna. Hello, Donna. Katney says, what do you do with it? Yeah, it'll be a pendant. And that hole came out pretty good. See, it's pretty good, even though it's like not perfect. Came out nice. Let's just, you know what I should do? Let's just go directly into this. into the oven. Let's do this one at time 6 minutes. Yeah, the oven is better because they don't have, this is a convection oven. So I should put this one in there. Maybe that's dry already. I don't know. It flopped right on its face. But I'm loving that Padparash sapphire color. I'm just going to toss this one in there while I'm at it. Pat, let me see. She says, "Are the fumes bad from the oven?" You know what? I think there's a little bit of something happening, a little bit of fumes, but unless you stand right with your face over it, you could just open and put a fan in the kitchen and blow it out.
Why would there be fumes? It's not getting melted.
Well, there's a little bit of it's kind of like polymer clay. You get a little tiny bit of like a plasticky odor, but not unless you burn it. It's not. I don't think it's significant. Let me do one more. Oh yeah, these will make good tags. Well, that's what Azalea does with them. She makes tags and they work out. Waste not, want not. We'll use this piece here and make kind of a fun little triangular shape. Terry says that purple would be fab with a fiber mishmash hanging down from the middle. Oh, yes. Or you know what else would be good is Miele's mesh. That's silver silk would be pretty with this. On silver silk. Let me get that whole. Yeah, Gail, when she's doing her shrinks, she has these fancy metal molds that you can form the plastic to while they're warm. So there's a window of time where these are the perfect temperature where you can kind of manipulate them. I have not had a lot of success with that myself, but I also have never really put a ton of energy into doing that. So alcohol is the worst part of the smell. I don't even notice it like at all. I guess that's part of, that's part of the process or some of the smells that go along with it. Like how paper making smells super horrendous at some points, kind of smells, well, like a paper mill a little bit. Which is a little bit funky. There was a paper mill in Canton, and that closed up. This one, let's see what's going on with these guys. Oh, shoot, they stuck together. Maybe I can get them apart. Let's see. Oh, no, they're not completely stuck. They're blowing around. But you know what the fun part is they don't look like shrinks when they're like this. They look like, to me, this side looks like glass. And I bet if I put a layer of UV resin on there on the inside, I think that would look really cool. Yeah, I have a toaster oven, but you know what? This one works the best because it keeps that air from just sitting there, I think. And I think that when you have that kind of action, for the polymer clay, you get more burned parts. At least for me, I've burned it more when I use the toaster oven. And I rarely burn it with this, partly because you can see it the whole time. I don't want this small size. I want a big size. But I love this marker right here. Let's do this one again. I keep saying I'm going to do some detail, but this is kind of fun to not.
To let your brain go smooth.
To let my brain go smooth. Exactly.
Smooth time.
It is. Put that Doctor Who on and start making some Shrinky Dinks. You guys want to come over? We'll have an art party. Hey, it's kind of like you're coming over right now. Donna says, what is that hole punch you have there? It looks heavy duty. You know, it is, and it's by We Are Memory Keepers. It looks like I lost the other side of it, but it is heavy duty. You get a choice of this, and I believe, I'm not really sure why it has these little markings. I think that's so you can get in there and have a variable amount to, like if you're doing a, you know, if you want it to have a certain distance from the edge. So it's perfect every time. You know, this, you know, it's for the scrapbook people, you know, scrapbook. It's good times. We used to do a show in Port Townsend called Art Fest, and that was a lot of scrapbook stuff. And it was the stuff that was people came up with. Pretty smart. A lot of smart. Hey, are there any more of those Federal colors?
The inks?
Yeah, I thought
I think you only got me.
No. But turn your face towards that shelf, almost eye level.
Oh, the batteries fell down.
Oops. Yeah, check this one out.
Looks like resin.
Yeah, I think I'll leave it. I kind of love it. I couldn't have planned for that. Someone would say, hey, go flatten that. I could flatten if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to flatten it right now anyway. I'm going to drip some of this. This is the one we were talking about. Apparently, these are alcohol inks that do not lift. Oh, I didn't even shake it. Let's see, little drops. Listen, that alcohol dries fast. Let's just take it off and see what happens. We'll do this for more controlled. That was not as controlled as I was imagining. We'll just go back to this way. I like that color. I need to guide it. I need a brush. Ooh, you know what else would be good is salt. I don't know if I have any salt in here. Salt makes some nice patterns. When I'm making paintings, this is one of my favorite parts, is doing the backgrounds. This is one of the ways, is I will spray it with different things. It's completely mixed media. I kind of love that story. What's that over there? Let's get that. Now I want it to stay just like that. I'll get the other one. I forgot it in here. Oh, so that's kind of like a leaf. Look at that. Pretty cool. This side looks neat. You know, I like salt on the alcohol. I think it looks like stars. That looks pretty cool. So in my mind, I was thinking of something like this. But you know what? Maybe they do need to be flat. So I could, love the sound of that. Does it sound neat? Nice and sturdy. Yeah, Donna says you can sprinkle kosher salt on the alcohol inks and it does a cool texture. Yeah, it's like kind of like Starburst. If I had some salt in here, I don't have it, and I'm going to run all the way downstairs to go get it. But, oh, let's try with a heat gun. I have a heat gun over here. And that's kind of fun to see. Okay, I'm going to unplug my oven for a second. Pliers, let's hold it. Hopefully I don't push all my stuff off the edge. All right. Heat gun. These are for strip and paint, not the embossed one. This, you got to keep it moving while you're working with it. And I put it on, let me put it on low. So this is another way you can do it. I have a measuring cup somewhere in here. Hey, you know where that measuring cup is? I thought I brought it up here a little bit ago.
Yeah, it's right down here.
Where is
Put
it?
it up because you told me you were use it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you could do it on each end. Yeah, that's a good idea. Here, we'll do this. This is the old way. Ugh. You know, it's gross. I just grabbed one of my hairs, and burnt it. It smells horrible in here. So don't do that. This thing is powerful. Look how fast it goes. Kind of like that shape. You know, if you hit this for too long with the heat gun, it can get really weirdly melty. Oh, colorless shellac. Yeah, there's a shellac in the bottle. I did not experiment too much with them. I think we did a live where we talked about them. I'm going to flip it. Raise up. See, it's a little bit pliable right now. You see that little blister on the top? It's pretty cool. Check that out. And my hair is getting into it. This is Azalea's method. And as you can see, this is the more superior of the ways that we have just tried.
Well, I need mine to be flat so they're flush to the bodies of my plushies. And that's my method for making it flat. You can use the bottom of the measuring cup to flat so it can smash down.
Mmm. Well, I almost did that. Like, let's throw these in there. Came out pretty, huh? I should flip it over. Getting warm in here. We moved back up here because it was nice. And also because we needed the table for our feast. For our Friendsgiving feast.
I'm excited to make some pies.
My friend Joanne and her partner Rocky coming over.
They are coming?
Yep. Star, Richard, TJ. It's going to be a good crowd. Maybe we'll get some Farkle happening. I'm always trying to convince them to play Farkle. Sometimes Azalea will be like, all right, fine. Or crafting. I'm like, hey, can I interest you guys in some Shrinky Dink? See, this is one that, it's hot. This is the time when you can bend it because it's real fluid. Let's do this curly one. Oh, I forgot I had another one. Now that I see them flattened, I like it. It looks like they're not as translucent as I'd hoped. Maybe I need the super clear. You know what else I need is I need a piece of silicone underneath this so I'm not messing up my photo thing here. Looks pretty good. I like it when they go a little bit thick around the edges. Maybe what I'll do is hit them with another, like a layer of UV resin. Although I like this curve here. Maybe I'll leave that one. Oh, Sheree says the Sizzix makes a round silicone mat with a tool to keep it flat and another tool you can heat through. Nice. They give, you know what? They shrank a little bit more. All right, let's look at them. This one I left the curl in it. Pretty fun. I liked this side. Although that mat looks really good. I feel like that looks good. Ow, that turns out this glass thing is hot. Put that over. So I was going to make with these, I wonder if these are, if I could wipe that off. I don't want to wipe it off because I like the patterning on that. But they seem like they're not as clear as the others. But you can, and I'm not getting the transparency that I was picturing. You know, I was thinking they would layer, you know, like this, and then you could see through it, and it would be a little bit different. That was the idea anyway. You know, these would also make a nice, let me put these on a strap and see what it sounds like. Oh yeah, coat it with a matte medium. You know, I was just thinking that. I don't know if I was just thinking, hey, I love how that color is so pretty, or that texture. Let's see what they sound like. This would make a neat, like, love that sound they make. That's pretty. What do y'all think? Pretty cool.
I like how it looks.
And
the jingling.
You know, they don't have to be this massive. They could be very small. So if you wanted to make earrings with this, they'd even get away with one, because I was trying to go to get very clear layers. I think I'd have to go with the kind that does not have the pre-scratched back. So I think it looks good. I don't know. Let me see. I wonder, you know, it'd be cool is if they had matte resin. I don't think that is a thing, but that seems like something that would be pretty cool. So that's another option too, is to leave a slight curl. And I bet, you know, what else would be pretty neat is like pigment powders in there. So let me see, let's put that, make a necklace out of it. Yeah, they kind of do look like a guitar pick. Kenny says, are these really delicate? Could you make a wind chime? They don't seem delicate to me.
I still have necklaces and bracelets I made out of shrink plastic 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I wore them and they look the same as when I made them.
Mm-hmm. I kind of love these. I bet, you know what? You know what else would be pretty? Imagine gold along the edge.
Oh, you don't have to imagine. I have gold paint pens you could use on that. And
let me picture it right now. Let's. Oh, I wonder if that would work with these. Let's see if this is as gold as it. Let's test it on this one. I wonder, does it seem... Wonder how... I mean, they're supposed to be pretty permanent. Because I think, if anything, if you didn't want to go through the rigmarole of using UV resin, spray would work pretty well. I had a spray from PIM, Protect Your Memories. That stuff is invisible and works super good. And whenever I see it, I buy a can. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I think the other paint pens might have a little bit more opacity than this one. Yeah, they're very sturdy. I would say that that's pretty sturdy. Yeah, you could make all kinds of lightweight, like a wind chime type thing, or a cat toy, or seem like this would make a good fishing lure too. That little extra sound with scissors. I just had them. I bet that shellac would work. There's a in this mixable color. Oh no, these are the extra ones I bought. This is the full set. So that's what they look like. They're the full set, and then I bought the, what does this say? Primary magenta and cranberry. You know what? They look very similar, don't they? Very similar. Katney says, what basic supplies do you need to start with this? Well, I would say fat Sharpies, so don't get these kind unless you want to do drawings. So depending on what you want to do, like this is good for drawing. Let's make one small one to show how detailed you can get. It's very detailed. Like when Azalea's making her tags, she makes them to go flat. Alita says, I like the gold. I do too. So I was just going to finish this. Oh, maybe I'll wait. So let me get this out of the way.
Oh, dang. That's me.
That is a tray full of my stuff. But it didn't break because it was an enameled tray. I started pushing on it. I had foreshadowing earlier. I thought, hey, don't push too much. And then I did it anyway. Thank you for picking that up. Let's do like a leaf pattern with this. I want a dark green. Or blue. Let's see how well this one goes. It's a pretty fresh marker. These are all kind of like these viney shapes that are reminding me of the creatures in that Scavenger's Rain show. It's a sci-fi we were watching on Netflix. I keep trying to get the kids to watch it. But it's animation. So they're kind of like, what? I don't usually pick animations because they're always on. Max is always watching anime. Like One Piece. I was like, hasn't this show been on for like 48 hours? It's like it never runs out. Oh, I should do another color while I'm at it. Oh, the gold gives it a stained glass vibe. It kind of does, doesn't it? Let's do this skinny pink. See what happens. Oh, that's even more detailed. It's like veins or like roots. That's pretty. Let's show it. Okay, let's pop it in. So what you need are Sharpie markers, scissors. You can get a heat gun. This is like $40 or an embossing gun. You can use a You know, the embossing guns from Michaels, those work pretty well. This is for stripping paint, so it has a few more uses. It's more powerful than those, so it's a little bit faster. So you need a way to melt it. Your oven will work, but this is obviously much faster than using, you know, that little oven I have right here is slower than the heat gun. And look, you can see how much smaller. It's like 50%. Maybe even a little bit more. I feel like it shrank a lot. But you can see the difference in what you can get with the alcohol spray. So you can get a little spray bottle. This is the highest percentage of alcohol. And you could get little bottles of ink. Those are not expensive. I mean, this brand, I think, is probably like $6 or $7 a bottle, maybe. But these just came out. They're kind of new, experimenting with trying out new inks. They don't lift. So that was kind of the fun part. Oh, I forgot to put a bead on it. Shoot, that was the whole thing. I was going to put one of my beads right over here like this. That was the goal. Maybe I can still do it. What is this? A face? No, that's not a face. Oh, tell about Azalea. We forgot. We made a sale and we forgot. At least I forgot until just now. So there's a sale we did on our website. We called it the Helene Recovery Black Friday Sale. So that's happening on our website. How much is it, Azalea? 20%? 20, something like that?
Mm-hmm.
20% off site-wide. You don't have to come up with any kind of coupon codes or anything. So we're doing that to raise a little money because a lot of our usual locations that we set up are gone. Look how pretty this looks. This one has a dragon that I doctored up with a little bit of patina paint. Oh, the dryad head would look real good with that. Let's see what this is. Well, not. See, you don't have to put another bead on it. You could even go, if you wanted it super light, you could use an acrylic. I think that looks pretty good. But I think I'm going to make earrings. I think that's what I'll do. Earrings for the Big Crafty, which is next weekend, by the way. So if you're in the Asheville area, come to the Big Crafty. Come say hi to us. It'll be fun. It'll be festive. Exciting. It's always exciting. We see our friends. I get some new art from our friend Edwin and Mary Ellen. Good times. My friend Francis makes hair combs. So I just made this adjustable. See how it looks. All right, there we go. So about an hour, you can make yourself a nice necklace. C. Gray says, can you please demonstrate how to make hat bands from silk strips and leather? You know what? I did that during a live for the GBE. So Azalea and I are going to make what's called evergreen videos. Shoot, I forgot to put this one on there. Went through all the rigmarole and didn't even put it on. Oh well. It doesn't look like it matches anyway. These look good on their own. So there's this piece. So don't forget this weekend. Not this. Oh, it is this. What is this weekend? No. It's next weekend. I scared myself. Gave myself the fear. It's usually the first weekend. All right. So if you would like that, if you want to see it, I think it was GBE in the winter. But we're getting ready to make some evergreen videos on YouTube, and we're going to pick through and edit them. I feel like I've been editing videos for my whole life. I've got a bunch that are at almost completion point, but not quite. All right, I'm gonna flip this camera around. Oh, Pat, do you know what date I did that? So I have what's called time blindness, and I don't usually know what day it is. And I generally do everything with my time, like when was it, as according to when Azalea was born. Was it before or after she was born? It's my timeline. True story. Not everything, of course. Right. So I hope that was fun. Pretty simple, pretty easy. A craft that you can do with just about anybody. Let me flip this. All right. All right, my friends. This is what we made today. This necklace with shrink plastic. And it doesn't take a lot. You just need shrink plastic, which you can get at most craft stores. And you need some Sharpies. They work the best. You can get some alcohol inks if you want alcohol inks. You need alcohol, but really you just need something to draw on them. And some sort of heat, like a heat gun or an oven. I did not treat these, but I feel like that's pretty permanent. But if anything, I could always spray it with a matte spray, and it would only have to be on the one side because this side, the shiny side, doesn't need it. Although it'd be pretty cool to have another kind of layer on it, protecting it and magnifying it. I think that would be pretty cool to do that. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us today. That was a lot of fun. I hope you get to do some wonderful feasting tomorrow with your friends and family. And I hope you get to do some creating. So we will see you this Sunday. I'm not sure what we'll have planned, but we will have something fun to do. And don't forget, we have a sale going on our website, the Helene Recovery Black Friday sale. And that's happening until this Tuesday. So also, before you send me a message asking me where your order is, we are filling them. We're filling them morning, noon, and night. And remember, everything is made to order. So we kind of got a little behind with Helene, so just keep that in mind. It takes a minute to make everything because we make it when we see the order come in. I don't just sit. I don't have like 500 of anything because we got to make it all. So if it's made, it's not, that metal is not free. So it has to go to something. So that's why we don't have deep stock on a bunch of stuff. Because people ask me, they're like, how come you don't have these done and ready for me? I said, well, because if I did that, that would be thousands of dollars in stock that I would have the pleasure of storing until it's sold. So since I have like 600 designs, that's a big ask. All right, my friends, we will see you on Sunday. Love you out there. Good night.
Good night, everybody.